Hey everyone, my name is Amanda Simmons. I'm an Emerald Ambassador and I started Plexus 3 years ago this month. So I just want to share a little bit on recruiting, some tips and tricks that have helped me in my business. Um, a big part of something I want to talk about today is emotional buy-in and what's in it for them. And I'm super excited about this. And so one of the steps that I feel like it's missed a lot that I wanted to start with is when you're starting to talk to somebody and they're telling what they want to work on in their health, oftentimes people be like, oh, I just want energy or I want weight loss, right? And we just give them active or metaburn or whatever because they want weight loss and energy. But there's so many things that people normalize in their health that I know I did. And I just thought I had some bloating. I thought I was super healthy and I had like 20 symptoms going on that I thought were genetic. And so when I start talking to a potential customer, what I always start with is I send a leaky gut graphic. Like once we have a relationship, right? They're like, we're talking about Plexus and we're trying to narrow some products down. I always share that. And I'm just going to share my screen. It can really be anything. This is the one that I use specifically, and I have them either list or usually they'll just highlight them and send it back to me. And that just gives me a really clear picture of who I'm working with. Like oftentimes they have thyroid problems and somebody would just tell you, they just want to lose weight when meanwhile they have so much more going on in their health. And so that's where I start. And I want to talk mostly though about emotional buy-in. So when I started, I used to just vomit boxes on people. And it's like, as soon as I thought they were a little interested or, they said they were, it's like, I just felt like more information, right? Not everyone, but I did that. I was like sending the triplex video and I was sending like info sheets and all of these things. So a rule of thumb here is if they don't ask for something, don't give it. Okay. It's too much. They will ask. Most people will ask, like if they want more information beyond what you give them. So when I'm signing somebody up, once they share their symptoms with me, I share a relatable health video. So I don't jump to the triplex video. I don't jump to a bunch of product information and go straight for the kill. We're dating with them, right? It's like, we're just going to like go to like, not go to base, whatever. We're just going to slowly work with this person and not just share all the things. And 9 times out of 10, and I'll know those green personalities pretty quick when they're like, just give me the information, like info sheets and all this. But 90% of people are emotional buyers. Okay. They don't care what ingredients are in all the products and every detail about every ingredient. They want to know that the products are going to work for them and they want to see something that they can relate to. So my team has a health testimonial video chat. I truly can't remember the last written health story I've sent. And I usually sign up 13 to 15 people a month. I do not send written stories. For one, when they open up the message, they're scrolling through this story that's probably like how many screenshots long in Messenger. And when they can hear a video, it just hits them a little differently. So I have a health testimonial video chat. The videos are no more than about 2 minutes. And we can use the little search and conversation, type in pain, or whatever their symptoms are. I try and find the best match. As long as there's like most of it matching, I'm good with that. I usually look at the demographic. Like I'm not going to send a video from, I don't know, a 20-year-old to maybe a 60-year-old, right? I try and match that a little bit. And so I send a health video and then I ask, what resonated with them in that video. I'd like to ask them as well how this impacts their daily life. And so this is part of the emotional buy-in. I like to send the video, but I also like to ask them how this is impacting their daily life. How quick are we to be like, oh my gosh, I have something that can help you? Because we're so excited. We're like, oh my goodness, this can do this and this and this for this person. Where we miss the step, okay, of slowing down a little bit and finding out more about them and how it's affecting their life, because onboarding directly impacts retention. They're not separate. I know we're talking about recruiting here, but if you mess up the recruiting part, you can't really outfix that. Like, it's too late sometimes to even catch people if the onboarding isn't, you know what I mean? Like vision casting and having them really see what this is going to do for their life. And so once they share that, their health things, and I share this video, I'm like, how did you resonate with that? And then I start asking them questions, like, wow, how does, energy, like, do you have kids? Like, do you work? How does that impact your daily life? And I just start peeling layers back. Okay. I ask more and more questions. Like, maybe they'll tell me they have thyroid and they can't lose weight. And it's like, oh my goodness. And I open up and become authentic too, because people, a lot of the ones I sign up, actually probably 95% I've never met. I do not know these people. And so it's vulnerable to share those kind of things. Like, well, I'm like snapping at my kids because I'm so exhausted. So I will open up as well with them and say, hey, before I started Plexus, I was so exhausted. I was like yelling at my kids all the time, and I was having naps and throwing them in front of the TV. And I'm sure my husband was scared of me because of my hormones. Like, I just like really get authentic with them. And then they can share with me, oh my goodness, yes, like that's me too, or whatever, right? And I just peel back the layers and I listen for details. So if I'm talking to somebody and they start mentioning their kids or different things going on, I'll usually plug in there and, oh my gosh, we have these kids vitamins. Can I send you a sample of those when you get started? I would love to send those to you. They haven't even signed up yet. When you sign up, I would love to send you a sample of those for your kids, because mine love them. And I can't make enough vegetables and to fill in all the gaps. And I love that Plexus can. And so I'll just listen for those details. You want to be transformational, not transactional. There's too many people in this world trying to be sold to. They can go to Amazon. They can go onto Facebook ads. It's bombarded in people's faces. And the last thing somebody wants to feel like is a piece of meat and to feel like you're selling them on something. They want to feel heard and they want to feel loved and valued. And so that is what we're doing here. Flip yourself on their end and see how you would feel listening to the conversation. The other thing I want to mention is if somebody ghosts you. Okay, so I just had this happen. Actually, it wasn't ghosting, but she was like, I can't afford it right now, maybe next month, whatever, kind of the conversation sort of whatever. And or if they ghost you, don't just keep coming back with the next sale, or you know what I mean? If it's not now, I'll usually ask, like, when would be a good time to follow back up with you? Because then you have that permission. But a huge part of this is like, don't always talk about Plexus. So last month, I actually had a lady that was going to wait till this month to sign up. And she's like, well, I'm doing all these renos on my house and I just can't afford it right now. And I took interest in her. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you doing in your house? I would love to see photos. That's super exciting. She's like, well, I'm really exhausted from it. And we just had this really great back and forth on my way to Nashville. And after Nashville, on my way home, she messaged me and she said, you know what, like, I'm going to get started. I'm ready to get started. And I guarantee you, had I not have like cared to ask her about her renos, not that we do this to get a sale, I just genuinely took, notice to her. It affects people. They want to feel like they have a friendship with you. So, ask things other than Plexus, like talk about their life too. And the other thing I'm going to mention, I have my notes here so I don't forget anything. Yes. And then when you're talking about it, what's the cost of not doing it? And then the other thing I always do is I get permission before I share about the products. So after we've talked and emotional buy-in, how it's affecting their life, and like we really get to the core of it, maybe do some voice messaging in there. I find that really impactful, or get on the phone when possible, of course. but I always ask permission before I send products. I never just, okay, so this is the pack for you. I ask for permission because people, when they give permission for that, they're going to be more likely to actually read it. We're going to have them feel like they're in control of the conversation, even though we are. So ask permission. Hey, would you be open to hearing some products that I know would really help you with your anxiety, your mood, your whatever they listed, make it specific and ask for permission. And then, it's common for them to read whatever you send them the product stuff and they kind of ghost you again. I'll usually give them a day or two and I come back and I just say, hey, how did that go looking that over? I would just love to see you feeling better, and kind of close out the deal at that point. More time is not better. You're not being pushy, following back up in a day or two. The longer it drags out, isn't always the best. So you want to follow up within, I'd say, even a day or two at most, once they have time to process the information. So those are my tips for you today. I hope that was useful and helpful. And a call to action, if you don't already have one, make a video of your health story, a 2-minute segment. And if you can, kind of get like a health testimonial video chat going if you don't already have one. Maybe you already do, but you didn't have your personal one. I find that so powerful, sharing my personal health video with people. It's like you're talking right to them. And I also want you to make a list of questions that you can ask your potentials when you're in conversation with them to dig a little bit deeper to get to know them better. And then I also want you to make a list of 10 people that you might have been talking to and it's sort of like died out a little bit, that you really just want to focus on relationship building for a little bit before you get back to plexus. So have a great day, everybody. Thank you for watching.